welcome back to my channel. I am Megan if you're new here, and if you're returning for another video, thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you are new here, first of all, I apologize. This is not my typical background. Everything is still malfunctioning. I hate technology, if you guys know me. Secondly, if you are new here on this channel, I talk about everything motivational, happiness, veganism, which in my opinion helps lead to a happier and healthier lifestyle. So I'm so excited that you're joining me. But in this video specifically, I really want to talk about finding yourself again after a bad, unhealthy, toxic relationship, whether that is romantic or not romantic. So I'm sure we've all been through this, right? Where you tend to lose yourself a lot when you're in these relationships. And I say romantic or non-romantic because I also had a really hard time refining myself and relearning myself and my value and my self-care and self-love after a lot of family issues, concerns, and problems that I had. But more so recently, after getting out of a toxic relationship or just a bad relationship, I think that word toxic so played out, but a bad relationship for me, I found myself in that process again of like relearning myself, revaluing myself, re-respecting myself, like really getting down to the nitty-gritty of who I am, redefining myself, what I like, being the proud version of myself again. And so I think that so many of us go through this because when you're in these bad relationships, you tend to become a smaller version of yourself. You tend to become, some people can, suffer from depression, their anxiety can act up, they change their entire personality. They may be separated from family and friends now because this person took advantage of that and manipulated them. And those are all things that if you've ever been through there, you may have experienced, and I know that I have. And so for me, one of the hardest things about getting out of that relationship was, the familiarity and the comfortability, whether it was a good or a bad comfortability, there was comfortability there. And you become this person or this thing that this person wants you to become. Again, this happened in my childhood. This has happened in relationships, and most recently in a previous relationship. But so you become this thing, or you watered down version of yourself that this person created or makes you feel like you have to be in order to fit in or to feel loved or to feel valued or respected, or like the fun girlfriend or boyfriend in order to be in this relationship. So you become this other person. A lot of the time you are separated from family or friends because they really only want to spend all of their time with you and they don't want to spend time with your family or friends. You might take on different things that you didn't believe in or that you do not respect or value, but you did it to maintain this relationship with this person. And so you get very lost. And sometimes you can lose yourself completely. You don't really understand yourself anymore. So when you're exiting this relationship, it's really easy to kind of just get out and be like, who am I? Like, what did I allow this person to do, first of all? How did I allow them to make me this version of myself that I don't even recognize? My family and friends don't recognize. Co-workers don't even recognize. How did I do that? So that's your first thing. And then the second thing is, now how do I fix this? Like, how do I become the best version of myself again and the person that I know that I am? And that's where like a whole new adventure starts, because you're getting out of this breakup. And again, breakups are sad, even if they're horrible, horrible breakups. And losing relationships are sad. I mean, when I went through certain things in my childhood, it was very sad to go through those things. It was horrible things that happened, but still losing that relationship or that image of what you wanted or what you thought your life was supposed to be, or in this relationship romantically where you're like, I've really invested and I really love this person and I care about this person and I think they care about me, or I know they don't care about me, but I just really want to make it work because of the comfortability. You tend to stress yourself out. So you're already going through this very sad momentum of just, it's a breakup. It's a separation from family, friends, whatever that is. And it's sad. So you're suffering with that. And now you got to go through this whole stage of refining yourself. So how do you do that? For me, the biggest things that worked were really just having to want it. I really had to want to be separated from that person in that situation. And I really had to want and understand that I was deserving of refining and relearning myself, because I had adjusted so much. I mean, I became this person that, whoa, I just went down. Sorry. So I just became this person that, people didn't recognize. I feel so short now. Oh my gosh. Hold on. Okay, that's kind of better. But anyway, so I became this version of myself that people didn't recognize. I was, because I didn't want to be this, I'm trying to be careful about how I word things because I never want to target somebody, but I didn't, I changed who I was a lot. And I became a more watered down version of myself. I shut up in a lot of ways. I didn't show up for myself in a lot of ways. To be honest, just completely set aside my morals, my standards, my respect for myself. sometimes even my respect with my family and my friends, and I disappeared in the norm of who Megan is. So yeah, we go through that, right? In those moments where you're in these bad situations, bad relationships. And so for me, I had to consistently remind myself that I'm worth it. My family, my friends, my child, my work, my life is worth relearning that self. And not only that, but I deserve it. I deserve to be okay. I deserve to be this bold, crazy, whatever you want to call me, person that I am, because that's who I am. That's who I've always been. And nobody gets to rob me of that. That was the biggest thing for me, was just like, keep reminding myself, girl, you deserve this. You absolutely deserve this. This is something that you need to make happen for your sanity, for your mental health, for your clarity, for your career, for your life. Like, every little bit of my life was affected by this relationship, by this thing, and again, previous relationships as well. But so much of me was affected by it that I didn't even realize. And so when I really took a step back and I got away from it and I started to evaluate and I started to remind myself over and over and over again, and I started to do the work to get to that point, then I realized how much stuff was affected by this. And I'm so glad that I just kept reminding myself. I wrote in my notebook. I would always play certain songs. I would watch certain movies or certain YouTube videos that helped me. And I really just pushed myself, because I knew that I had to do it. I had to not only get out and stay out, but now I had to start this process of who am I and how did I get so lost? A huge part of that was, resetting myself in situations that I love, whether that's being around people that I loved and I valued and I knew loved and valued the true me before I had changed, and they still continue to be there through those bad relationships and those bad moments. I had to realign myself with those people. I had to realign myself with things that I liked. I started going back outside. I started doing all these activism stuff that I like doing. I started getting back on the videos. I started reading again, like all the stuff that I loved that I lost myself in. And it's not necessarily because that person took that from me, but they drained me to the point that I really wasn't myself. And I was just this operating robot of like this version of what this person wanted me to be. So I had to kind of push myself at first to get back out and to do the things that I love, to be surrounded by the people that I love, and make time for it, and then continuously remind myself that this is what life's about, and this is who I am, and this is what I genuinely enjoy. And those things just come naturally. Those people, the energies, the things that you enjoy comes naturally to you. But when you're in that process of refining it, you do have to kind of get out and almost force yourself to do it again, because it feels so foreign after being so stuck in a weird situation like that for a while. Another big one was honestly just to talk to somebody. And I'm not talking about family and friends who already had a bias against this person, but completely an outsider, or going to counseling. Like, I 100% believe in counseling or coaching, and like really getting out and getting it out to somebody who doesn't know you, who doesn't know the situation, who's not biased, who isn't the friend of a friend of a friend of a friend, and the family member and the coworker who happens to know the son, like all this crazy stuff. Like, it needs to be somebody who is so off and out of the situation. So go to counseling, go seek professional help. I still do counseling. I still go to counseling for other things that I still don't understand, and it's part of learning myself, that there are a lot of things in my life that I'm like, okay, I know why I act this way, but how can I no longer act this way, right? So I still go to counseling. I still seek professional help. I still seek outside help. And I think that was one of the biggest things that helped me, was like really getting into this session and understanding, like, why in the actual hell do I keep finding myself in these situations, putting up with these people, loving these just stupid situations? Like, why do I keep doing this to myself? And so that truly helped me with a lot of my self-love, not only seeking professional help, but continuing to just get help in general, whether it was online things or courses or reading books, because I enjoy that too. But continuing to get that help outside of myself and outside of biases really got me to the point where I finally feel for the first time, that I'm happy. I love myself. I'm confident in myself. I know 100% who I am, and I will never be in that situation again to allow somebody else to treat me like that. And that's a really empowering, liberating feeling to finally feel that way. So I 100% suggest seeking professional help. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Nothing to be ashamed of. Like, I mean, everybody does it. It's so, and it should be more normalized. So I like to share that. Like, it's something that people should absolutely do and take pride in. And, or if you don't want to talk about it, you don't talk about it, but really get down to the understanding of like, why do I do this? Why do I act this way? Why do I operate this way? Because that's the only way you're going to fix it. So a weird thing that always works for me, no matter what kind of issues I'm going through, is like, I had to constantly remind myself of the bad things, because I feel like a lot of the time we like to romanticize a lot of crap And we always remember the good, when things were good, when times were good. And then so it becomes, you have those weak moments where you miss the person, or you want to work things out, or you want to fix it, or maybe they really do. Okay, don't do that. For me, like, I had to constantly remind myself. I kept screenshots of threats. I kept screenshots of creepy pictures and videos. I kept screenshots of all the times that I was crying. I kept screenshots of all these things in my head, and I kept reminding myself, I'm like, this is truly what it is. So no, you can keep envisioning and trying to make it fit and trying to make it make sense, but it just doesn't make sense. So I had to just constantly remind myself and not allow myself to be weak in those moments. And again, that helped me really want to find myself, because I remember, if you guys didn't watch my video from a couple weeks ago, which I'll put up here, I kept that video of me, or the picture of me crying, because I remember, I was just excited to and wanting to be with my partner and like dance with my partner and have a good time with him. And he kind of crushed that little bit of me of like, oh, maybe I'm annoying. Maybe I'm too spontaneous. Maybe I'm too crazy. Maybe I'm too loud, blah, 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 blah. So I kept that picture, and I'm like, there's literally nothing wrong with what I said, did, or asked in that situation. So I looked at that now, even to this day, I still have the picture, and I look at it and I'm like, I will never let somebody make me feel like I'm crazy for wanting to be like, touch them and love them and be in that moment with them. Like, what the hell? Sorry, motorcycles just passed. But anyway, so yeah, I just had to constantly remind myself, and that I know sometimes it's backwards from maybe wanting to completely forget about it, but it really does help at least me stay personally like driven and aligned to the goodness and not going backwards. And then just most importantly is just take it day by day. Like, learn yourself over again. Take yourself out on dates. Take yourself somewhere you enjoy. Spend time by yourself, with yourself, healing, not going to the next relationship, not focused on the next thing or the situation or anybody else's drama. Don't worry about what they're doing, who they're with, what they're sending you. Don't worry about any of that. As long as you're safe and your safety is not, in danger, take it day by day and focus on yourself. Focus on, again, going to counseling, seeking help, all these things that I talked about. Just making sure that you're staying in line with the fact that this is where I want to be. This is what I want to be. I want fixed about me, and just continue every day to choose yourself, and continue every day to stay on that line of forgiveness and healing and moving forward. And I think it's really important to just breathe, take those moments in. It's okay to feel the emotions. It's okay to be sad. It's okay to have problems, concerns, whatever that might look like, but make sure that you take the time to just be by yourself and breathe and enjoy the day-to-days and the good things, and celebrate when you figure out new things that you like. Celebrate when you make it through a day without doubting yourself, or being, without being upset or being mad or whatever that might look like. Like, really choose you and celebrate and be happy to be where you are and to continue to learn yourself, because I know you get so lost and you get so confused, and I'm so sorry if you've ever dealt with that, if you've ever been through that, whether it's from a family member or a significant other or whatever that might look like. I'm really sorry that you've gone through that, because I know how gray area you can feel in those moments, and nobody deserves to feel like that, to the point where you feel lost and you don't really recognize yourself anymore. So really focus on you, on the beautiful person that you are, and how unique and amazing you are, and how deserving you really are of getting back to the beautiful, amazing person you were before this person tried to rob it from you, because we're not going to allow them to rob it, right? So that's why I wanted to do this, because you can allow them to rob it, but that's really unfair and depressing, and you're continuing to give them the power. So we're not going to do that. I want you to practice whatever your coping mechanism is, whatever may help you to find yourself again. And I know it's not easy, but it's 100% necessary and worth it. And again, if nothing else, think about your future, like your family, your friends, your career, your moves, your travel, whatever that might look like. Like, really think about the things that this has affected, and don't allow it to affect you anymore. Use your superpower to continue to find yourself. Find things that you love, find great things about you, celebrate yourself, be surrounded by people who love you and who value you and who've never made you feel like that. And you will get there, I promise. Anyway, I think that's all. I think that's all I wanted to say. I just wanted to say that I hope you can find yourself again. I know it's not easy. So if anything, you guys can always reach out to me, but it's such a beautiful, empowering, liberating feeling to finally heal and feel yourself again and find yourself again and just feel bold and energetic and happy and just more confident in the person that you are, because you found you again, and you're not going to let that happen. So it's extremely worth it, whether it was 2 weeks ago or 700 years ago. you can do it. You can definitely find that. So I hope that you do. I hope this video helped. More than anything, you guys are so loved. I hear you, I see you, I love you, I value you. You are so worth it, and I will talk to you next time.